better income, maybe be treated more fairly.
And what's more, it's understandable that nowadays is totally different from the before, because young generation have more opportunities. They can change their jobs very easily. If they are not satisfied with the current jobs, just shift, change to another company. It's not so difficult. But maybe 20 or 30 years ago, it's not easy. People just work, and if you want to change other job, very very hard. So nowadays, the society has provided so many different positions. You can do anything. So that's why people shift jobs easily. I think in some degree understandable.
Yeah, and it also though makes it easier for
Yeah.
a company to replace people.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they want, let's say you're 50 years old
Mm-hmm.
and you make 25,000 RMB per month,
Mm-hmm.
and they think, oh, I will hire a 25-year-old and I will pay that person 8,000 RMB.
Right.
In the U.S., this is very common. They will we call it letting go, fire someone to let them go. They will let go of the older people, and they will hire the younger people that are cheaper.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't say they were better, because in many cases they aren't better, because they don't have the knowledge, the expertise.
Right.
But the labor cost seems cheaper, even though the net result may be that they make mistakes that cost the company millions of dollars.
Right.
But it was cheaper for the labor.
Yes. Understood.
Some American business people are their math is a little bit terrible, but I forgive them, because we're 27th in education.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So of course their math is not very good.
Right.
So the last chart
Mm-hmm.
is something interesting about American society.
Mm-hmm.
We, in the early 1900s, we began forming unions. The idea of a group of employees, a group of people,
Mm-hmm.
coming together to bargain with their employer to get better wages, to get better benefits, and in exchange they agree to certain performance. It didn't exist prior to then. This once it came into being, this graph is the result, which is their standards of living went up. The unions, of course, as their union membership went up,
Mm-hmm.
many middle class, remember I said three classes, middle class Americans had the benefits of unions. For garment workers, they make clothing.
Yeah.
Automobile workers, electrician, plumber, welder, they all have unions. But in recent years, the government has become very anti-union.
Right.
They don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
And union membership has also gone down. Fewer people joining the unions that used to protect their jobs and their wage. And now that's part of, not all of, but part of why that American middle class has declined. You get quite a few fewer people in these good paying union jobs. So the last 10 slides or so has been about the wealth and the taxation and the impact on your wealth in America. The next 2 slides, I just want to give you a little idea of the debt, the amount that we owe as Americans.
Yeah.
And in that next slide, the U.S. national debt as a country, we owe $22.7 trillion. That's amazing. I put the amount in yen. There's a lot of zeros in that number.
Yeah.
That is how much the United States owes. And by the way, 1.138 trillion of it is owed China. The Chinese government has purchased so much American debt.
Yeah.
So
Chinese government helped American, in some degree.
Because that money, when your government buys American debt,
especially during the economic crisis, 2008, Chinese government purchased a lot of Americans' debt.
Oh yeah,
national debt. Yeah,
that's right. And it at the time it helped get the country out of the crisis.
Yeah.
So when other countries, especially wealthy, advanced countries like China, where you have the money to be able to do this, it helped prevent what could have been a much worse crisis in the U.S. So this slide shows you how much national debt, how much interest. We pay almost $500 billion in interest on the loans each year. That's amazing. That's just the interest.
Yeah.
That's not even the original loan amount. And then how much China and Japan owns of that debt. Now, that's at a national level.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the average family in the U.S. And that is the next slide.
Yeah. Personal debt.
Personal debt. If you take all the families in the U.S. and you add up all their debt, it's about $13 trillion. It's enormous. It is so large that it will pretty much never be paid off. Americans will always be at this point in a lot of debt. How much? Well, point number 3. Each family, 87% of them, has about $135,000 in U.S. debt per family.
Wow.
87%.
Not very much.
It's for them. It's a lot, though. Remember their income. Their income is not that high. Average income is much lower, but they're paying so much interest on this debt that the debt doesn't really go down, right? If you have a loan and you have your interest and you're only paying this part, this never goes down. Your interest remains, your principal, we call it the principal, remains. So that 135,000, it doesn't really go down very much each year. So these families remain in a lot of debt. It's credit cards. Credit cards are how Americans mostly spend more than they make, more than they earn. They put it on a credit card. Ooh, I want a nice purse, credit card. Oh, I want a nice couch, credit card. I want a nice computer. Laptop,
Every year
credit
we
card.
need to use credit card.
Everything. They put credit card debt. It's amazing. So credit card, student loans, it's very expensive to go to college in the U.S. By the way, on Friday and Saturday of this week, we will talk about that. We
Okay.
will talk about how expensive it is to go to American universities. Car loans and mortgages, which is loan. So, there's a lot of debt, but there is one good point. The highest earning average salary is families from Asia.
Here is Asia.
Chinese family, Japanese family, the highest earning average salaries in the U.S., no matter what job, is typically families who came from somewhere in Asia. Because, what did I tell you? When they come to the U.S., even though they live in a new country, they bring their values, their culture,
Right.
their beliefs. If they were frugal in China, they're frugal.
Yeah.
If you're smart there, you're smart here.
Yes.
And the average income is highest in those families. The average savings, the average income, lower spending. It's cultural. You
Right.
bring your culture to America. So, I hope that as you listened to all of this, that your impression of life in America is a little bit more balanced.
Yes.
Yes, we have beautiful places that you can visit. Yes, we have, some beautiful parts in some cities,
Yeah.
beautiful buildings, but we also have a lot of work to do, a lot of things that aren't in good condition, a lot of things that need to be changed, or we are going to be much worse off in the future.
Yeah.
So, great country to visit if you want to check it out. And if for example your children want to come and experience American universities, but don't think that it is all perfect here.
Right.
American
American is not always paradise. Still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the phrase, "The grass is greener on the other side of the fence"? This is.
Can you tell
So
me?
it's an expression. Imagine you live next door to your neighbor, and it's a fence, and you have your grass, and you have your neighbor's grass on the ground. The saying means when you look into your neighbor's yard and you see the grass, you go, "Oh, it looks nicer there than over here in my yard. I think that it must be better over there. Maybe better to live at my neighbor's house." So,
Just by imagination. That's illusion.
imagination.
Imagination, not a reality.
Yes, that's right. If you are living in China today and you say, "I don't like this, I don't like that, I wish this was different, I wish that was different." Oh, look, in America looks amazing. And we say, well, the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. So when you come here, you will say, "Oh, the grass isn't greener. It's the same as back home."
It's the same. Yes. Yes.
It's not much different.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit different in certain ways, but overall, overall,
Yeah.
not much different.
So in many aspects, China and American almost the same. For example, the gap between the rich and the poor becomes wider and wider. The same. China and American the same.
Yes. If you are a millionaire in China and you come to America and you give up all your money, yes, of course, it's going to feel very different because you're going to be living like a poor person in America. But if you're in China and you come to America and you live like a millionaire, you're not going to notice the difference.
Yes.
You're still going to have amazing house. You're still going to have amazing cars, amazing clothing, amazing trips. If you're at the same income level, you won't notice a difference. If someone from a village in rural China comes here and lives in a rural part of America, it won't be really, really different. Little bit. They
Almost the same, similar.
maybe the water quality will be better. Maybe. Not guaranteed. Maybe. But it will mostly be
the same.
Similar.
Yeah, similar.
And so just keep that in mind. It's yes, every country has some great things to offer, but we have some things that aren't so nice.
Yeah, but as far as my impression is concerned, the poorest places in America are not. Some areas are not as poor as those in China. Some places are really extremely poor. I have traveled to many places, really poor. But in America, the rural areas poor, but not as poor as those in China. Generally speaking,
So that's why I say you will see some difference. For example, in rural China, maybe there's no toilet inside. Maybe the water, there's no, you can't go in the house and turn a faucet.
Right.
And get water. Maybe you can't take a shower. In some of rural America, you can do this. But there are towns in America today that are so poor that they too go out for the bath. They too can't get water in their house.
Yes.
Out to a well and get it. So, but it's fewer than China because we have smaller population. China has so many more rural people living in rural areas. So it's just it's numbers, right?
Yeah.
But it's generally speaking, the standard for the poorest of the poor will be a little bit more, a little bit better here.
Yeah.
But if you're at about the same level, if you're middle class in China, and you come middle class will feel about the same.
Yes. From today's conversation, I think on the one hand, everyone, no matter which country we are about our home country, we must patriotic. This is the first point. The second is we must also face up to the reality. Some people are rich, some people are still poor. Even the gap is between the rich and the poor becoming wider and wider. We must know it's not good to the whole society, and anyway, we just can do something by ourselves to do our best to change our family life and to compare. I think just because you came to China and you know a lot of Chinese reality, and you may feel different impressions. It's great. today you have very good, excellent presentation. At the end of today's conversation, can you give a couple of sentences to our audience to maybe summary?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So, first, yes, the things that you see on TV and in the movies, that is not an accurate depiction of all of America.
Mm-hmm.
There are things like that in parts of America, not everywhere. And the second is, for many American families, they have the same worries, the same concerns, the same dreams,
Yeah.
hopes.
Okay.
You're not going to find that it's different there. They want the same things for their families and their children.
Okay. Thank you. Today we know a lot about American. Some are just illusion, imagination. Some are reality. We have to face up to our real life. And anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for your today's presentation. Let's say goodbye to our audience. See you tomorrow next time. Okay. How about tomorrow's topic? Can you tell us tomorrow's topic?
Oh, tomorrow, another interesting topic. I like it, on dating, marriage, and divorce.
Oh, about management, dating. Maybe a lot of young generation we will love that.
I think to see how that works in the U.S.
Oh.
So, we'll talk about that tomorrow night.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
Morning.
Bye bye.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Bye bye.